Ahankar in English, it is called ego. Now, what is ego? To understand ego, you need to understand the Sanskrit word ahankar as it is. Ahankar means, you know, the doership, the sense of doership. Ahankrita bhava, that is, I am the doer. This one, this notion, that you have, that you are the doer, this is called ahankar. But actually, you are not the doer. It is the nature. It is the nature and the qualities. There are three qualities. One is sattva, one is rajas, and the other is tamas. So the nature, when they react with the qualities, they produce actions. And because the nature produces action, it is the nature which is also the performer of those actions. You have never performed any action. Every action is happening through you. You are the instrument. You are the instrument through which nature is performing its action. So what are the instruments? The instrument is your body. The instruments is your mind. The instruments is your senses. The instrument is your intellect. These instruments is called karanam in Sanskrit. Karanam. Now this karanam means the senses, body, mind, and intellect. So they are actually the medium through which the nature is performing actions. You are the observer. You never act. You never perform any action. But there is this ego which says that I am doing this, I am doing this. And because of this ego, because you are attached to that ego, you also think that it's you who is doing this. But you have never done one work in this world. You are always free from all actions. So, till you have this ego, you will never understand that you are the non-doer. So to understand you are the non-doer, you need to get rid of the ego. And what will happen if you know that you are the non-doer? When you know that you are the non-doer, then only you know who you are actually. Because of this ignorance, because of this ego, which makes you the doer, it always keeps you engaged into the actions which you never perform. It keeps you engaged in the, it's just like a stupid, you don't do anything, but you are always engaged into that. You are engaged in another person's actions, which you are not performing, but you think that you are doing this. So, you need to get rid of ego. So when you get rid of ego, then you understand, wow, I have never done anything. I'm just the observer. I'm just the witness. I am the consciousness which makes everything conscious. And with that consciousness, everything is happening. But I am not doing this. I am providing the light. I am the source. I am the substratum. I am providing the light by which these are enlightened and they do their actions. I don't do anything. I'm not the seeker. When do a person perform actions? When he has some necessity. If you don't have any necessity, you don't work. So whenever there is an action, it is because there is a necessity. That is because there is a longing, there's a desire, there's a crisis. There's a shortfall. There is unfulfillment. There's unfulfillment, and that is why the actions are done. But you are always fulfilled. You are purna, you are fulfilled. So how will you perform actions? And why will you perform actions? You don't perform actions. but you are engaged into this false notion that I am doing this or I am doing that, and this is done because of ego. And that is why it is so important for a spiritual person to get rid of this ego. And that is why it says nir ahankara, a person who has no ego. Now, who does not have ego? A person who has understood the game of this ego, who have understood how this ego is fooling me, how this ego is deluding me. When this person understands this, then only he can get rid of this ego. So you need to understand this. And to understand this, you need to practice being the non-doer. While you are performing actions, you should be aware that you are not the doer. If you are aware about that while performing actions, then you will see that slowly but steadily you will understand that you are actually not the doer. And that everything is done, everything is done through these senses, body, mind, and intellect. And the doer actually is the nature. It's also not you. And then you become free. You become free from everything. You become free from the results of your actions. Till you consider yourself to be a doer, you have to, suffer the results of your actions. When you know that you are not the doer, then you get rid of all the results of actions. You're free. Then you live a life of freedom. So it says that nirmamo nir ahankara.